Starting off our list at number 10 is Michael Jackson. He was one of the greatest performers to walk the earth, and his personal life captured the interest of millions, mostly for his change of his look. He started out as a young singer in the band Jackson 5, where he rocked a black afro and dark skin. There was an accident that occurred where his hair actually caught on fire, so he began wearing wigs and also had permanent tattooing done to his scalp. But besides his hair, one of the most obvious parts of his transformation was the change in his skin color. Many people claimed he changed his color from black to white as a way of being accepted. Michael went on the Oprah show and claimed he had a skin condition and that was the reason it changed color. But reports say he had steroids and other medications, also known as bleaching agents. Throughout his career, he had multiple surgeries done to his face, including facelifts, nose jobs, chin implant, and lip tattooing to make them appear thinner. It's hard to say what the real reason was, but it can be assumed that the fame and money he had definitely played an effect on it. At number 9 is Farrah Abraham. She was cast on MTV show 16 and Pregnant when she was just 16 years old and pregnant, and then went on to be one of the OGs on the show Teen Mom. She was in the spotlight for years with her daughter Sophia, which is why fans were shocked when her image and behaviors began to change. In 2010, she had her first big surgery done, which was breast implants. It was only noticeable because she's always been a very petite girl, so they definitely stuck out on her tiny little frame. In 2012, she got a rhinoplasty and chin implant, which reports say cost her $16,000. The following year, in 2013, she got her second breast implant surgery and was showing off her new D cups. This year is when her image and also her reputation began to change, as she got involved in the industry, promoting her adult film at the Gentlemen's Club in Las Vegas, and also a personal leaked onto the internet. She also got involved in a toy industry where she created her own line. In 2015, the star went to get more permanent lip fillers, but she had an allergic reaction. She posted the pictures and captioned it, "Girlfriends, don't say I didn't warn ya. #botched, #ER, #fixit." Since then, she has had countless procedures done. Her breasts again, her lips again, other face injections, and bum implants and bum fillers. She actually goes on her Instagram live video with her daughter Sophia in the room as she gets her bum fillers, by the way. You can just imagine the controversy. We can imagine that she feels the need to fit this type of image because she's now so involved in the sex/porn industry. Taking over spot number 8 is Cher. The actress and singer is a legend for her talent, but also for her looks. She basically hasn't aged a day because a lot of her financial success into plastic surgery. The best part is she has no problem admitting it. She flaunts the work she's had done with pride and says that she hopes to smash the stigma that cosmetic surgery is something to be ashamed of. During an interview with Glamour in 2018, she said, "It makes me happy, and you know, if I want to put my tits on my back, they're mine to do so." The actress admits to having a facelift and also Botox to reduce wrinkles and frowning lines. UK's leading aesthetic doctor, Dr. Nick Milojevic, says it looks like she's also had a neck lift and an eye operation. He also said, and I quote, "She would also have regular dermal fillers, as at her age the skin loses volume and needs to be plumped." Regardless of what she's had done, when she took on a role in Mamma Mia 2 last year, everyone kept asking, how the hell does Cher look so good? So I guess that beauty is pain. In the number 7 spot is Donatella Versace, the Italian fashion designer and current vice president of the Versace group, and also its chief designer. She is currently 64 years old and has a net worth of a whopping $200 million. The Versace company's stakes are divided between herself, her daughter Allegra, and her brother Santo Versace. The total value of the company is $1.7 billion, so needless to say, her company is a successful one. As time has gone on, her bags are not the only thing that has changed, her look has also, and significantly. She isn't known for having the most natural style, and she's the first one to admit it. In 2013, during an interview with Sunday's Vogue Festival, she said, "I am not genetically like this. I use tons of cream and take care of my hair and skin." She went on to admit that she's had Botox done on her face, but denies that she has had any other work done besides that. The fashion designer explains that it takes a lot to get her well-crafted look, which most people would expect from a designer. She can't even remember the last time she wore flat shoes. I can only imagine the expectations she even puts on herself as one of the world's most iconic designers. At number 6 is Pamela Anderson, the legendary actress and model mostly known for her work in Playboy magazine and on Baywatch. But before she became this sexual figure, she actually appeared in the family television show Home Improvement. It was her first television appearance, and she took on the the role of Pam. Looking back at pictures now, you would probably not even know that it was her, because I didn't. Her looks completely changed after her first breast enlargement surgery and lip injections. Last year in 2018, America's holistic plastic surgeon Dr. Anthony Oon did a report of all the surgeries he suspects Pamela has had done based on his professional experience and knowledge. Throughout the report, he states that he thinks she's had some fillers injected into her cheeks, laser treatments done to her skin, Botox injections, and some fillers or fat transfers within the skin on her face. The model has always been recognized for her looks, so I can only imagine the pressure that comes with that. Halfway through, at number 5 is Carrot Top, an American stand-up comedian and actor whose original name is actually Scott Thompson. If for some reason you don't know who he is, he's a guy known for his bright red afro hair, hence the Carrot Top nickname. Over the years, rumors have spread that he has undergone a number of different plastic surgery operations, and understandably so, because looking at pictures, I would definitely think that he has. However, he continues to deny that he has had any work done. During an interview back in 2013, he was asked about what he thought on the rumors. His response was, "People think I've had plastic surgery. No, it just takes a lot of makeup to make me look good." He went on to say that people have made jokes that he looks like The Mask, and all he has to say is, and I quote, "I'm sorry that I look good. I don't think I look anything different than I did when I started comedy." According to plastic surgeon Dr. Oon, he says he definitely has had some work done. He says yielding an excessively arched brow and a smooth face is the result of laser treatment. He's looking more and more like a muscle-bound cartoon character. Well, what do you guys think? Plastic surgery or makeup? Here we are at number 4 with Janice Dickinson. She has been referred to as the world's first supermodel. She deserves that title, seeing as she did pave the way for the thousands of women who have since joined the competitive modeling industry. But she's just one of the millions of people to see her life destroyed by drugs and alcohol. Janice opens up and explains that she managed to avoid drugs entirely for the first 5 years of her career, but finally gave into temptation following a bad breakup. She said her way of coping was through the large amounts of free cocaine that she got as a result of her success. The model spent the next couple of decades filling her body with and also plastic surgery. She has never been shy to admit that she has had breast implants, lip injections, and other work done on her face. She even appeared on the hit show Botched to get her breast implants fixed, and the doctors were concerned on how she would handle the medications with her past drug addiction. The former model is often spotted out in public without makeup ever since appearing on the show where she exposed it all. Alright guys, at number 3 we have Tara Reid. Most of us girls will know her from her role in the movie Josie and the Pussycats, and most guys will know her from the American Pie movies. The actress was very successful, finding her way to play the hottie in most of her movies. She had a naturally beautiful look, but over the years she has gone through some awful plastic surgery experiences. In 2006, she had a procedure done called liposculpting, which went horribly wrong and actually botched her stomach. She wanted to get the surgery done in the first place to upkeep her hottie reputation, but turns out it cost her a lot of work. During an interview in 2007, she opened up about it and said, "My stomach became the most ripply, bulgy thing. I had a hernia, this huge bump next to my belly button. As a result, I couldn't wear a bikini and I lost a lot of work." She also explained that her breast implants were botched by the same doctor, which left her with deformed nipples. She later had both procedures reversed, but it wasn't able to fully fix the issues. She was last spotted in February 2019 jogging and working out with her trainer in LA. In spot number 2 is Jocelyn Wildenstein. Hey, we have the same name. Honestly, I'm not totally sure what she's famous for. If you go online, it basically said she's famous for her extensive cosmetic surgery and also her divorce from billionaire Alec Wildenstein in 1999. Her actual Wikipedia title is American Socialite. Whatever that means. Not only was she in the tabloids for her divorce, but she also was referred to as Catwoman for having feline features. Despite what everyone else says about her, she claims that she hasn't had that much surgery and blames her Swiss background for her high cheekbones and cat eyes. Just last year, during an interview with Paper Magazine, she pulled out photographs from when she was in her teen and her early 20s because she wanted to show the interviewer that she has always had these features. Yeah, all I can see is a lot of plastic surgery. surgery, but what do you guys think? Taking our number 1 spot is Heidi Montag. She became famous from the MTV hit show The Hills, where she was Lauren Conrad's best friend. The show was a reality-based show, so Heidi only played herself, but the young star became famous for her insane amount of plastic surgery more than anything. She shocked the world when she had 10 plastic surgeries done in just 24 hours. Not procedures, surgeries. It was a brutal process and she barely made it out alive, literally. She was just 23 years old when she went under the knife back in 2010, and she came out looking about 23 years older with completely different facial features. So here is the list of what she had done. A mini brow lift, Botox in the forehead and frown area, a nose job revision, a chin reduction, fat injections in the cheeks, nasolabial folds and lips, neck liposuction, the ears pinned back, a breast augmentation revision increased to a size F, liposuction on the waist, hips and inner and outer thighs, and buttock augmentation. She had surgery done a few years prior, so she wasn't really new to it. During an interview with People magazine, she was asked why she did it all at once, and she replied, "That's kind of my personality, everything at once. And I really just wanted to go under anesthesia once instead of going under and under again. It felt safer to me." Unfortunately, it was anything but safe. Turns out her heart actually stopped for a minute and she was technically dead on the operation table. She continued to say that the risk wasn't worth it and that she is done. I quote, "Risking my own life for vanity." She does regret her decision and calls it a huge mistake, but says it forced her to grow as a person. Starting off our list in the number 10 spot is Jared Leto. He has lost significant weight for roles in some of his movies before, such as Dallas Buyers Club, but it was gaining weight for his role in Chapter 27 that really did a number on the actor. The movie came out in 2007, where Leto took on the role of Mark Chapman, the man who shot and killed John Lennon. Leto admitted in interviews that he gained so much weight so quickly that he suffered from gout. Gout is a form of arthritis caused by excess uric acid in the bloodstream. The more fat, the more uric acid. Leto told LA Times, and I quote, "Towards the end of the shoot, one of the glaring issues was the pain I had in my feet. I had a wheelchair because it was so painful. My body was in shock from the amount of weight I gained. It took about a year to get back to a place where I felt semi-normal. I don't know if I'll ever be back to the place I was physically." That is some serious dedication to a role, which he's proven to do in the past. But we probably don't realize the amount of damage he's really doing to his body in the process. We just enjoy seeing him doing his thing on the big screen. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, he's out there putting serious strain on his body. I feel kind of guilty. In the number 9 spot, we have Linda Hamilton. In the 1999 movie Terminator 2, Linda took on the role of a woman, Sarah Connor. She took the role very seriously, training her butt off to play the hardcore mother of the leader of the future world. With any action movie comes gunshots, which are extremely loud. We would never realize just how loud they are by watching it through a screen, but to put it into some perspective for you, a clap of thunder is about 120 decibels of volume, but a gunshot can be anywhere from 140 to 190 decibels. In one of the scenes in Terminator 2, the characters are escaping a mental hospital inside an elevator. While shooting a take, Hamilton forgot to put her earplugs back in, so when a round of gunshots was set off in the elevator, it caused permanent hearing loss for the actress. Those suckers must have been really loud. Sliding into the number 8 spot is Daniel Craig. His time playing James Bond left him with his fair share of injuries. In Casino Royale, 2 of his teeth were knocked out, and in Quantum of Solace, there was a blow to his face that required plastic surgery. He was also rushed to the hospital after slicing off the top of his finger. Gross. But it was actually his time on Spectra in 2015 that left him with a permanent injury. While filming a fight scene with villain Mr. Hanks, he hurt his knee. It required surgery and threatened to halt filming for 6 months. But Craig didn't want to be out that long, so he pushed through the pain. In the end, production was only stopped for a few weeks. He had a quick operation to get his knee back in working order. But Craig still faces the permanent damage to his knee and has had several operations since to try and fix the damage. In at number 7, we have Mila Kunis. We've seen the trend many times where actors are required to lose significant weight for the role in a movie. Well, it was Mila's role in Black Swan that required her to completely transform her body. Kunis told ET, and I quote, "I had to look skinny in order to look like a ballerina. I used to be a smoker, so I smoked a lot of cigarettes and I ate a limited amount of calories, 1,200 calories a day. I don't advocate advocate this at all, it was awful. Her co-star Natalie Portman also put herself through a strict diet to lose 20 pounds for her ballerina role Nina. She faced tons of attention for her method approach acting and left Mila completely in the dark, receiving no credit for what she put her body through. You can only imagine the permanent damage that smoking does to your body, especially when used for weight loss. After the movie, Kunis told Harper's Bazaar that her body has never been the same. She dropped her weight down to 95 pounds for the film, which is a very dangerous weight for a lot of people to be at, and one that's hard to recover from. At number 6 we have Sylvester Stallone. Being a Hollywood action hero can be difficult and dangerous work. Just ask this legendary actor whose action thriller films have put him in danger on more than one occasion. He has a list of injuries from his films that include flesh wounds, broken ribs, dislocated shoulders, and broken neck bones. However, one injury has left him with permanent damage. While filming The Expendables 3, during one of the stunt scenes he fell flat on his back and suffered from terrible back injury. He was hospitalized immediately and had to have major surgery to fix it. He now has a metal plate that has been fitted to his spine, which apparently squeaks sometimes when he walks. It will be in his back permanently, along with the horrifying memory of the tragic fall. Halfway through in the number 5 spot is Uma Thurman. Her injury in the movie Kill Bill caused a lot of controversy in the movie world. Thurman agreed to do her own stunts for the movie, and one of them was an action-packed driving scene. During one take, she lost control of the car, which caused her to veer off the road and crash into a tree. The crash was so bad she said she was in so much pain she thought she'd never walk again. Luckily she was able to, but it did leave her with permanently damaged neck and screwed up knees. The footage of the crash was later released and is actually very unsettling to watch. The thing that caused so much controversy though was that Thurman didn't want to film the scene and she was forced to. In an interview with the New York Times, Uma revealed that she had been harassed by the producer who forced her to perform the dangerous driving scene under bad conditions. She admitted she was scared. She went on to claim that the car seat wasn't screwed down properly and the straight road was actually a very twisty sand road. She sticks to her claims that the car was nothing but a death box that left her with permanent damages. Taking over the number 4 spot is Jim Caviezel, who took on the role of Jesus in the movie The Passion of the Christ. The story of Jesus shows that he suffered for the sins of mankind, but Jim Caviezel also went through some suffering to bring his story to life. You may have heard about the crazy story that he was struck by lightning during one of the cross scenes. They filmed the movie in Rome and the cross scene was filmed on a mountaintop. That day of filming there happened to be dark clouds in the sky and it was really windy, and out of nowhere he was struck by lightning. They noticed smoke coming out of his ears as well as his hair looked like the typical just got struck by lightning hairdo. He was okay, but we can imagine being struck by lightning does some damage to the human body. He also faced another injury while filming the prolonged scene. One of the actors missed with the whip and tore a 14-inch gash into Caviezel's back. He still carries the scar and also the memory, but defends the violence portrayed in the film as necessary to telling Christ's story. He's definitely going to heaven. At number 3 we have Jackie Chan, another actor who refuses to use a stunt double. He's famously known for his martial arts skills and wild stunts, but one of them left him with a serious injury. His career has been filled with stunts, which also means that his career has been filled with injuries. The most serious one was when he was filming Armor of God. One of the stunts required him to jump and grab a tree branch 25 feet above the ground. Well, the tree branch snapped and he fell the 25 feet, crashing into rocks down below. His skull was fractured and apparently a piece of rock had entered his brain. He had to have immediate brain surgery where they ended up putting a plastic plug inside the hole that the rock had created. He's left with permanent brain damage and also has some hearing loss on one side of his head thanks to the injury. Alright guys, at number 2 we have Dylan O'Brien. We have another serious brain injury on the list. Production on the final chapter in The Maze Runner was suspended indefinitely due to a horrific on-set accident involving the actor. The young star suffered from severe brain trauma when a stunt went wrong. During one of the stunts that involved a motorcycle, it quickly went wrong and he broke the majority right side of his face. He had to undergo reconstructive surgery that left him with permanent damage and 4 metal plates in his head. He says he feels extremely lucky to come out alive after the accident, and he said he had a brilliant doctor to help salvage his face and what he used to look like. The film's overall production had a massive delay after the failed driving stunt. Production of the film didn't resume until almost a year later, pushing the film's release date into 2018. The good news is that O'Brien was able to finish the movie and he still insisted that the stunt be in the film. Talk about dedication and insanity. Taking our number 1 spot is David Holmes, a stunt actor who was most famous for being Daniel Radcliffe's double in the Harry Potter movies. He was Daniel's stunt double for the whole Harry Potter franchise and has a huge resume of stunts before that, including underwater and flying stunts, which are considered to be the most dangerous. It was during the practice of one of the flying stunt scenes in Deathly Hallows that something went terribly wrong. The stunt required David to be jerked backwards with a wire that was attached to his back, which would then land him on a crash mat underneath. Instead, he flung into a wall, and when he landed on the crash mat, he immediately knew something was wrong because he couldn't move his fingers. Turns out he had broken his neck and is now paralyzed from the neck down. Daniel Radcliffe remains close friends to Holmes and says he also felt a sense of tragedy when it happened. The two still continue to spend time together and try to move forward in the best way that they can. Starting off our list at number 10 is Lil' Kim. Remember Lil' Kim, the cute sassy rapper who used to hang out with Puff Daddy and the whole Junior Mafia clique? The famous rapper was known for her raunchiness, whether it be through the microphone or through her pictures. However, over the year her pictures started to become unrecognizable. In the past decade, we've seen her transform her face with several different plastic surgeries, each time leaving us with more shocking results. Her once round nose is now extremely thin, and even her eyes sit differently on her face. What shocked people the most was in more recent pictures, not only was her face changed, but so has her complexion. She has lightened her complexion to a point where she no longer resembles a black woman. It's sad because the rapper has been open about her appearance and said it's because of her low self-esteem. She opened up during an interview and said, "All of my life, men have told me I wasn't pretty enough, even men I was dating. To this day, when someone says I'm cute, I can't see it. I don't see it no matter what anybody says." Celebrity plastic surgeon Dr. Gary Breslow tells Page 6 that he thinks she may need some help and that he fears she has a plastic surgery addiction. Based on her photos, he estimated she likely spent $20,000 to $25,000 on her surgeries, which include cheek implants, rhinoplasty, a chin implant, lip augmentation, and skin bleaching. At number 9 is Dolly Parton. There are so many reasons that people love Dolly, and her signature look is just one of them. She's open about her love for plastic surgery, which she couldn't even hide even if she wanted to, as her look has obviously changed over the years. She was always a pretty girl to begin with, but as the years went on, she began to get a bit of work done here and there. It's hard to believe that she turned 73 this year considering how good she looks, but there is no doubt that her plastic surgery played a part in that. The country artist has admitted to her numerous cosmetic procedures, which include breast implants, a brow lift, a facelift, eyelid surgery, chin augmentation, and rhinoplasty, which is a nose job by the way. We might not agree to her list of tweaks, but they have all contributed to her iconic Dolly Parton look, and she is thrilled about it. How could we forget her famous quote, "It cost a lot of money to look this cheap. As long as she's happy, I'm happy." Taking over the number 8 spot is Amanda Lepore. She is a transgender nightlife diva who people call a moving sculpture. She's a person who has made her own body her life's work. She has no problem flaunting her plastic surgery journey. She has undergone cosmetic alterations to almost every part of her body that can physically be altered. She's had booty silicone injections, a nose job, a facelift, her hairline lowered, cheek fillers, breast implants, and to get an hourglass figure, she even had her bottom ribs broken. It's been reported that the total cost of all her cosmetic procedures is over $1 million. She loves that people think she looks doll-like and says that all of her procedures went smoothly. She says, "Fortunately, everything was at its best when I had it done. I didn't have to do silicone injections in the boobs and things like that. They had implants by then. In those ways, I was lucky, and the sex change was really good. I didn't have to fix everything." The diva wrote a book called Doll Parts, which shares her entire journey as a transgender beauty queen. Sliding into number 7 is Mickey Rourke. The actor was once being called the next Marlon Brando, as he was known for his movies like Body Heat, 9.5 Weeks, and Angel Heart. However, over the years, fans can't help but notice the drastic change in the former heartthrob's looks. In 2017, photos of the actor went viral when people were stunned at how unrecognizable he looked. He's opened up about his plastic surgery, saying that it was all a result of injuries he got when he was an amateur boxer before he became an actor. He said, "Most of it was to mend the mess of my face, but I went to the wrong guy to put my face back together. I had my nose broken twice, I had 5 operations on my nose, and 1 on a smashed cheekbone. There has been debate whether the procedures were all reconstructive or some of them them cosmetic. Experts have reported that he has also had a facelift, eyelid surgery, soft tissue fillers, cheek implants, and a chin implant. He posted a picture on Instagram of him wearing a bandage and shaking hands with his plastic surgeon and captioned it, "Now I am pretty again." His fans weren't too impressed by that. At number 6 is Joan Rivers. She is famously known to do it all, being an American comedian, actress, writer, producer, and television host. Throughout her career, she has been known for constantly changing her face, but in 2015, it was revealed just how many procedures she's had done. She sadly passed away on September 4th, 2014, and her daughter Melissa wrote a memoir called The Book of Joan: Tales of Mirth, Mischief, and Manipulation as a tribute to her life. In the book, she reveals that Joan had a total of 348 cosmetic operations done over her lifetime. Her daughter explains that she was never happy with the way she looked, no matter how many procedures she had gotten done. It was just never enough. Her daughter said she shared these details because she wanted people to know that even though she was always cracking jokes in her comedy routines, she always felt less than when it came to her appearance, which is why she originally turned to plastic surgery. Halfway through the list at number 5 is LaToya Jackson, the American singer and actress who is the 5th child of the Jackson family. Yes, Michael Jackson's own sister also had an addiction to plastic surgery. When you look at the family as a whole, plastic surgery in general just runs in the family. LaToya Jackson has always been known as a natural beauty when she first started her career, but over the years she has had so much work done she is now unrecognizable. It's almost scary how identical her face looks to Michael Jackson's post-surgery face. The most obvious work she has had done is her tightly pinched nose, skin tightening, cheek implants, and skin bleaching. People say that she looks exactly like her brother did, so they must have shared the same surgeon, which is ironic because LaToya once criticized her brother Michael for being obsessed with going under the knife and publicly blamed it on the violence and cruelty their father Joe showed them. She is now 63 years old, but you would never know because she literally looks like she's 35. In spot number 4 is Joan Van Ark. The actress is known for her talent, but also for her knife work and plastic surgery scandals. She's known to have one of the most disastrous plastic surgery cases, which is far from humorous, so do not think I am poking fun of her at all. This is just facts. Her multiple surgeries ended up leaving her with a permanently stunned look. Her first surgery was Botox injections to help any signs of aging, such as wrinkles and lines. It was then reported that she had a procedure done called blepharoplasty, which is where they create a hollow space between and above the eyes, which is ultimately what led her to always look like she's in some sort of state of surprise or shock. She's also had a lip augmentation done, a nose job, and face fillers. The beautiful blonde actress was once famous for her fresh faced look when she started her career in the 80s. Now she is known for her plastic surgery transformation and for all the wrong reasons. At number 3 we have Dennis Avner, also known as Catman. He actually became a celebrity throughout his journey with plastic surgery. For years he destroyed his body for fame as he morphed his entire body into looking like a tiger. He holds the world record for body modifications, having numerous tattoos, piercings, and cosmetic surgery done. He even went as far as having whiskers, cat ears, and a mechanical tail. It was reported that he spent thousands and thousands of dollars for his surgeries, which included bifurcation, which is the splitting of the upper lip, surgical pointing of the ears, silicone cheek and forehead implants, tooth filing, tattoos, and facial piercings. He was known all over the world and fans jumped at any opportunity to take a picture with him. Sadly, in November of 2012, he was found dead in his home, but his legacy still goes on. When he was asked why he started this transformation in the first place, he said, "I felt inspired after discussion with a Native American chief who told me to follow the ways of the tiger." Talk about taking someone's words a little too seriously. And at number 2 is Pete Burns. He was the singer and frontman of the band Dead or Alive. Not only was he known for his music and talent, he was also known for his wild plastic surgery transformation. His career started with smash hits like the song You Spin Me Right Round, but later he decided to leave music behind, which is when he was known for his reality TV and his dramatic change in appearance. He flaunted his work and even appeared on UK's Celebrity Botched Up Bodies, where he said his famous quote, "I hope when I go to heaven that God doesn't recognize me." It all started with a simple nose job but went up from there. He had 4 surgeries done on his nose, 2 sets of cheekbone implants, and 2 lip augmentations. Having these repeated operations led to bad infections in his face and lips, which left him needing a ton of corrective procedures after that. It got as serious of him having to be rushed to the hospital after a lip augmentation had gone wrong. He was on his deathbed and recovered after 10 days of being on heavy blood thinners. He still went through other surgeries after that despite risking his life. He explained in an interview with ABC, I see myself as my own clay and I was remodeling it. Taking our number 1 spot is another man who became a celebrity with his crazy desire to become the next human Ken doll. His name is Rodrigo Alves, but likes to go by the human Ken doll, because he literally looks just like one. A lot of young boys dream of growing up to look like their favorite superhero, but for this UK celebrity Big Brother star, his obsession was to always look like a plastic doll. His obsession went further than anyone could ever imagine, spending a total of $883,000 on surgeries. His surgeries include hair transplant, Botox, face fillers, pec implants, fake six-pack implants, multiple nose jobs, liposuction to his jaw, fillers in his arms, calf shaping, bum lift, facelift, and rib removal. 4 ribs in total. In January of 2018, he told Sun Online that he was done with plastic surgery and was content with his final look. People are shocked when they see him, but even more shocked when they see his before picture. He says he now wants to focus on building his own brand. He said, and I quote, "I now want to focus on building my brand with my style, fashion, personality, and lifestyle. That's what I want to be known for."
In at number 10, Jared Leto. Many know Jared Leto as either that bizarre Joker from Suicide Squad or perhaps from the band 30 Seconds to Mars. However, Jared first began his acting career in the early 90s, making various TV appearances. His first major break as an actor was in ABC's teen drama My So-Called Life. Leto would also receive some tabloid fame from 1999 to 2003 when he dated and was engaged to Cameron Diaz. Since then, he's made some impressive performances in big films, including Dallas Buyers Club in 2013, which brought him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Half of Jared Leto's genius is that he can hide so well in plain sight because he's a method actor. It really allows audiences to believe his acting and allows him to settle into a character. People often forget that in 2007, Jared Leto played Mark David Chapman in the film Chapter 27. Mark was the man who assassinated John Lennon, and to prepare for this role, Leto had to drastically change his body. Leto had to force feed himself to put on a staggering 67 pounds just for the role. He allegedly ate a diet heavy with microwave pints of ice cream mixed with olive oil and soy sauce. Although the weight gain did not come without consequence, and in return, Jared developed gout from the experience. In at number 9, Kumail Nanjiani. Kumail Nanjiani first rose to fame through his stand-up comedy 1-hour special on Comedy Central, but he is best known for his role as Dinesh on the HBO comedy series Silicon Valley. He also received praise for co-writing and starring in the romantic comedy The Big Sick in 2017, which was also based on real events from his life. The success of that movie then indirectly put him in a position for much larger roles in Hollywood, which included a big opportunity to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Knowing that he would be starring alongside the likes of Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek, that prompted Nanjiani to get his body into serious shape. He knew that in order to represent himself properly as a samurai warrior in Marvel's Eternals, he would need to get into superhero level shape, which led to the Instagram post that pretty much broke the internet. In the Instagram post, he opened up about the reality of changing your body so drastically. He admitted that while it may seem impressive, it did not come without a lot of hard work. He goes on to say, "I would not have been able to do this if I didn't have a full year with the best trainers and nutritionists paid for by the biggest studio in the world." In at number 8, Farrah Abraham. Farrah Abraham first received public attention after being cast in the reality TV series 16 and Pregnant back in 2009. Following that, she was recast in a sort of follow-up series called Teen Mom. Following the ending of the show after 4 seasons, she then released her debut studio album along with her memoir titled My Teenage Dream Ended. Although Farrah believed she needed to have multiple plastic surgeries to maintain her fame. In 2014, she admitted as much on the Bethany Frankel talk show. In at number 7, Matthew McConaughey. When Texan rodeo riding electrician Ron Woodruff was diagnosed with HIV in 1985 at age 35, he was given 30 days to live. He would die 7 years later due to complications from AIDS in September 1992. To probably take on the role, Matthew McConaughey had to shed off the pounds and drop to the lowest weight that he's ever been. Both Jared Leto and Matthew lost an extreme amount of weight to prepare for this role that ended up paying dividends. Matt took home the Academy Award, Golden Globe, and Critics' Choice Award for Best Actor in 2014. In regards to how he lost the weight, McConaughey told the press, "I met with a nutritionist, I gave myself 4 months to lose the weight. I had my programmed meals, lost 3.5 pounds a week like clockwork, and got down to my desired weight, which turned out to be 47 pounds lighter." Although oddly enough, Matt said that shedding off all of the weight actually made him more hyper. He reported that he had so much energy he needed 3 hours less sleep every night. In at number 6, Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag had already established herself as a leading character on the MTV show The Hills. It was this scripted show about a group of friends, lovers, and enemies in LA, but it was made to appear kind of like a reality show. Heidi was clearly obsessed with the idea of changing how she looked, and as reported by Radar Online, Heidi said, "I didn't know what an eyebrow lift and a chin reduction was, so once he kind of told me everything that was wrong with me, I felt really insecure, and he gave me a really great deal on it all. He didn't tell me how extensive it was going to be, how severe, how painful, so I had no idea." Then they go on to list the procedures that she had done in 2010. In total, Heidi Montag went under the knife for 10 plastic surgery sessions in just one day. When she appeared on the cover of People magazine looking completely different from her previous self, she told them, "I think I look way better and I'm way happier," adding, "Nobody ages perfectly, so I plan to keep using surgery to make me as perfect as I can be." Following all of these surgeries, she definitely did get lots of attention for that, but the question is, at what cost? She does regret changing her body so drastically because of the impacts that it's had on her health. In at number 5, Christian Bale. Back in 2004, Christian Bale shocked the world with his massive dedication to playing the role of Trevor Resnick, a machinist with severe insomnia. The machinist, as I mentioned, is about an industrial worker who hasn't slept in a year because he begins to doubt his own sanity. To play this emaciated insomniac, Christian Bale lost 63 pounds in just 4 months, which by any medical standard is incredibly dangerous. Bale started at around 173 pounds and got himself down to 110 pounds before the film's producers reportedly just told him to stop. Apparently Bale wanted to hit 100 pounds, but they had concerns for his overall health and well-being. His diet consisted of 1 can of tuna fish and or 1 apple per day. On top of that, he was doing increased cardio workouts while maintaining a very low-calorie diet. To drink, his only options were water or black coffee. Bale did end up picking up the award for Best Actor at the Catalonia International Film Festival, and the machinist would end up making a grand total of $8.2 million US. In at number 4, Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro felt passion and heart in this role, and still to this day, he says that preparing for Raging Bull was his toughest task to date. De Niro had actually seen Jake LaMotta on the streets of NYC and noticed how out of shape that he had become. So they filmed the portion of Jake in his younger fighter stage, but halted production so that Robert could actually gain weight for the later scenes. Before Christian Bale famously lost and regained weight for his roles, there was the king of method acting, Robert De Niro. By the end of the film, De Niro had tacked on an extra 60 pounds to shoot the remaining scenes of the boxer's career and life. At the time, this weight gain was the most by any actor for a film role, but what's even crazier is the ups and downs it took to make this film. Not only did they have to deal with executive producers worried about them going over budget, but apparently Martin Scorsese was so alarmed by the weight gain and struggle breathing from De Niro that he shut down production again. Although it did pay off because Bobby picked up the Academy Award and a Golden Globe for Best Actor, but more importantly, he established himself as an actor dedicated to his craft. In at number 3, Kylie Jenner. Before becoming the billionaire business mogul she is now, Kylie was basically a background extra on the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She was notably famous by association, but to reach the same superficial status as her sister, she went under the knife. Kylie Jenner has admitted to having lip fillers, but fans think that she may have had other cosmetic surgery as well. There's no doubt that she is also heavily into photoshopping, but seeing this drastic change of her appearance and suddenly she's more in the limelight than the rest of her family can't be a coincidence. Kylie revealed during an Instagram post that her lips have been an insecurity of hers since childhood, not condoning what she did, but her lip boost did pave the way for her billion-dollar lip gloss business. Other plastic surgery rumors aside, the lip filler choice was something that Kylie ended up regretting, as she revealed later on Instagram. In at number 2, Michael Jackson. The sad thing was that Michael Jackson's obsession with constantly changing his appearance almost overshadowed his talent as an artist. Allegedly, the first major surgery that MJ had done was on his nose. However, this was to help him breathe better and hit higher notes, according to Michael Jackson. Although with Michael's vitiligo starting to spread more and more, the rumors began swirling that he was bleaching his own skin to have it blend better. Looking at who he was in the Jackson 5 to who he would be in 2009 was drastically different. We're not sure if him deciding to change his appearance was in part of wanting to distance himself from his childhood fame, but either way, mission accomplished. Jackson became a standout artist and king of pop based on talent and a good cosmetic surgeon. I'm kidding about the last part, but his doctor, famed Beverly Hills cosmetic surgeon Dr. Stephen Hoffman, said that he was only doing what Michael wanted. He told The Telegraph, "My job is to try to make people happy. In the case of high-level entertainers, the result may not be what the average person would want. But remember, these are performers who want to create a certain image for a special reason." Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Jennifer Jennifer Grey. After her starring role in the movie Dirty Dancing, Jennifer Grey was completely unaware of how famous she was about to become. The movie didn't perform well at award ceremonies, but it has become widely popularized for certain scenes and lines. For example, everyone knows not to put baby in the corner. Even The Notebook borrowed heavily from the practicing lifts in a lake sequence, while the blossoming romance between bad boy Johnny Castle and earnest rich girl Frances Baby Houseman made stars of both Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. Like most of these celebrities on this list, Jennifer decided to have a bit of cosmetic work done following the success of the film. This, however, turned into the now infamous nose job from hell. Grey told The Mirror, "I went into the operating room a celebrity and came out anonymous." The nose job had altered her appearance just enough that even fans of the film didn't recognize her anymore. In at number 10, Jake Gyllenhaal. When Jake Gyllenhaal picked up the script for Louis Bloom in Nightcrawler, he was excited to take on the role. It's about a con man desperate for work that muscles his way into the world of LA crime journalism, although the lines start to blur between observer and becoming the star of his own story. In preparation for the role, Jake decided to transform his body by dropping 25 to 30 pounds. Although writer and director Dan Gilroy said that the weight loss was entirely Jake's idea. Dan told IndieWire he would ride his bike 15 miles to the set or run 10 miles to the set, and then he would have a kale salad. I think he was on 1/3 of the caloric intake, so when we're watching him, he's got this weird energy. I feel sometimes when he's in the car with co-star Riz that he's going to eat him. In at number 9, Natalie Portman. In order to fit into her role as a ballerina in Black Swan, Natalie Portman had to endure a punishing schedule. She lost at least 20 pounds by only eating carrots and almonds. Plus, she then had to spend 8 hours a day in rehearsals for the film. Following this extreme body transformation, Portman told Entertainment Weekly that the film left her physically and emotionally drained. Although this is the role where she met her husband Benjamin and began to realize just how wrapped up she could be in a role that could take you down. It was more than just the weight loss that she endured though. Along with not having enough energy to balance properly, you are especially prone to injuries. The most famous was her rib injury that occurred on set and was actually included into the film. In at number 8, Anne Hathaway. While gracing the cover of Vogue magazine back in December 2017, she opened up about how intense her diet was to take on the role of Fantine in Les Miserables, along with chopping off her hair and dropped 25 pounds, and the big rumor was that she was on an extreme crash diet, which meant that she was eating less than 500 calories a day to lose weight faster, and told Vogue that she became obsessed with fulfilling the character of Fantine to the max. Although she admits that it definitely took its toll, and Anne said, "I was in such a state of deprivation, physical and emotional, when I got home, I couldn't react to the chaos of the world without being overwhelmed. It took me weeks until I felt like myself again." This really proved that she is extremely committed to the craft, but she definitely appreciated having her husband there to help her through those grueling months. In at number 7, Matt Damon. Matt Damon has gone through multiple body transformations for movie roles, tackling the task of losing and gaining weight as well. In 1996, he drastically changed his appearance for the film Courage Under Fire. Damon had to cut 60 pounds in a very short period of time, and to do so he ran 13 miles a day, although he said the hardest part was just only eating chicken. In 2009, Matt took on the lead role in the film The Informant, but he needed to gain an extra 30 pounds this time. Although this time around it was a lot more fun for Damon, who said that he basically just ate everything he wanted to for a few months. The movie Informant tells the true story of Mark Whitaker, an executive of the mega corporation Archer Daniels Midland, who became an overly enthusiastic FBI mole, caught up in an elaborate sting against the corn industry for, price fixing. In at number 6, Renee Zellweger. For whatever reason, when Renee gained weight to take on her role in Bridget Jones's Diary, she was heavily criticized for doing this. The character from the first 2 novels weighs in at around 130 pounds, but Renee tacked on 30 pounds to her previous weight in order to take on the role. At the time of her weight gain, it was a massive story in Hollywood. During an interview she gave in 2003, she said that she had given up on exercising before filming and admitted that she was only eating really fatty foods. It's really strange though that she took so much heat for this, considering the amount of male actors that put on weight and take it off no problem. For Renee, she was even criticized for when she lost the weight. Then the conversation in the press became about how she was all of a sudden too thin. It really has a lot to do with labels that society puts on females that gain weight and lose weight. Like for men, you're either jacked, skinny, or have a dad bod. For women though, they have all of these differing labels like curvy, plump, plus size. I understand that perhaps people criticized her for putting on the weight and taking it off because they believe that there is nothing wrong with being plus size, which there isn't. Although when it really comes down to it, she only changed her weight to transform her body to be more believable for this movie role, not for any other reason. In at number 5, Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill's weight has certainly fluctuated over the years, going from both full figure to extremely lean. I guess guys do have 2 other ways to describe weight. He really slimmed down though for the action comedy film 22 Jump Street back in 2014. Although when it came time to play the role of the real life arms dealer and war War Dogs, he packed on an extra 40 pounds. Typically, Jonah Hill walks around with a more slender frame, but now that he understands how to safely take off and put on weight, he's leveraged this to his benefit. We all first met Jonah Hill back in his Superbad days, and compared to his burly physique back then, he looks almost unrecognizable as an adult. And I know it's not a movie role, but Jonah really transformed his body in the Netflix miniseries called Maniac, and much like I said earlier, he looks completely unrecognizable, although it could also be his braids. In at number 4, Michael Fassbender. Back in 2008, Michael Fassbender dropped an insane amount of weight to take on the role of Bobby Sands in Hunger. Michael lost 42 pounds to play the young prisoner who led the Second Provisional Irish Republican Army hunger strike back in 1981. Bobby died after 66 days with no food, and off-screen, Fassbender was doing everything possible to properly portray that role. He only ate 900 calories a day, plus he would constantly be skipping, doing yoga, and just going for long walks. When reflecting on the process though, Fassbender said that it was like living in a psychological prison. His final weight before filming was a staggering 127 pounds. He was losing the weight in a semi-safe way by just limiting his daily calories than what his body required, but he definitely took fasting to the extreme to cut down in time. In at number 3, Chris Pratt. Much like Jonah Hill, Chris Pratt has also been known to fluctuate his weight in order to fit into certain roles. When it came time to play his more comedic character for Parks and Recreation, he definitely packed on some pounds. Although when it came down to preparing for roles like Zero Dark 30 and Guardians of the Galaxy, he needed to add on much more muscle. While speaking with Conan O'Brien about his body transformation, Chris said, "I've always been a little soft. I like to eat and I don't like crunches. I had about 5 or 6 months and I really busted my ass to get in good shape." He also admitted though that his abs were very short-lived at the time because almost immediately after he wrapped up with Zero Dark 30, he needed to pack on the weight again. This time he added 60 pounds for his role as Brett in the Vince Vaughn film called Delivery Man. In at number 2, Russell Crowe. For the movie called Body of Lies, Russell Crowe completely transformed his body by packing on an extra 63 pounds of weight. Compared to his time as Maximus in Gladiator, he looks so different as Ed Hoffman in Body of Lies. He looked so different that people actually thought that he was wearing a fat suit. And in preparation for this role, director Ridley Scott called him up and personally asked the actor to transform his body for this part. Ridley asked if he would mind putting on a significant amount of weight because he saw the character as this ex-athlete that had just let himself go. Although when speaking about what it took to get ready, he said that he would happily do it all over again. Russell said that bulking up was a pleasure because he could eat a cheeseburger for breakfast and no one would say anything. He did say that he avoided drinking alcohol in order to gain the weight because of his kids, and at least that's some good foresight on his part. Last but certainly not least, on our number 1 spot, 50 Cent. 50 Cent absolutely set the internet on fire when he posted about his extreme weight loss while filming the movie called Things Fall Apart. The film was a tribute to a friend of his who had died from cancer, and in preparation for the role, 50 Cent went from 214 pounds to 160 in just 9 weeks by working out 3 hours a day and only consuming liquids. He was so into what he was doing and wanting to accurately portray his friend who had been going through this cancer that he completely let himself go. This photo was taken during the second half of the film's production. His manager even had to tell him to go see a doctor because he was so worried about his health. To make matters even more complicated, 50 Cent had so much muscle on him that he found it difficult to lose definition even as he got slimmer. Many compared his weight loss to that of Christian Bale in The Machinist, but 50 knew that there was no other way to play this role than to fully commit himself.
At number 10, Amanda Lepore. I love unapologetic people. I find it so refreshing when people are truly themselves and aren't afraid to hide anything, and I think that's what I like the most about Amanda Lepore. Amanda Lepore is a transgender model, performer, and now author who made a name for herself in Hollywood just by being herself. She's known for having a very signature look, and she's basically become a living Barbie doll. Much of Amanda's body has been altered over the years, as she claims to have the most expensive body on the planet due to all of her surgeries. It's not clear how much she spent exactly, but judging by how she looks and the fact that she's been calling her body the most expensive on earth, I think it's safe to say that she's invested a lot of money into herself. She's written and talked about all the procedures that she's had done, and it's quite a long list. She's had a nose job, her hairline lowered, her eyebrows lifted, double eyelid surgery, cheekbone, lip and breast augmentation, gender confirmation surgery, hormones, and she even had her ribs broken and reshaped to alter the size of her waist. Amanda prides herself on being a living Barbie doll and really doesn't regret any of her procedures, even though they were all very expensive. At number 9, Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner has gone through many transformations in her life. As you all probably know, Caitlyn is transgender, and her transition most likely set her back a pretty hefty amount. While we don't know the exact amount that she spent on her transition, I think it's safe to say that no amount of money even compares to the feeling of having your outside appearance match who you are on the inside. There have been some people out there who have really been curious to see exactly how much Caitlyn has spent on her plastic surgeries over the years, including her confirmation surgeries. It is estimated that Caitlyn has spent approximately $76,000 on her cosmetic surgeries. Between fillers, facelifts, and a handful of other procedures, a lot of money has been invested into Caitlyn's appearance, and the fact that she's dished out $76,000 on these kinds of things shows that she will go to great lengths to make herself look as perfect as she pleases. Again, it is a lot of money, but I can imagine for Caitlyn, it's worth every penny. Now, before I carry on with the list, I would like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also head on over to my gaming channel, Viper Girl, if you're interested in gaming content. I've got lots of fun things going on over there, so go check it out and subscribe while you're there. At number 8, Justin Jedlicka. Imagine spending over $1 million on yourself, and I don't mean shelling out $1 million on clothes, shoes, and a nice car. Justin Jedlicka, known as the real-life Ken doll, got famous because he received so many plastic surgeries and has spent so much money achieving his goal of becoming a real-life Ken doll. For him, the more plastic he looks, the better, and really that is the exact goal. Justin was on the show Botched very early on in the show's first season, making his debut in the series' first episode. He said that he's received over 1,000 surgeries to achieve the look that he has now, and there's no sign of him stopping his transformation anytime soon. As for how much he spent, well, there's no exact number since his procedures are always happening, but Justin has said that he's invested over $1 million into his looks. Could you imagine spending all that money on plastic surgery? And would you guys ever do something like this? Let me know down in the comments. At number 7, Jocelyn Wildenstein. Imagine spending millions of dollars to look like a cat. Just sit with that one for a second and let that process. Yes, one of the most dramatic celebrity appearances, which comes from socialite Jocelyn Wildenstein, was modeled after a cat and cost over $4 million. Jocelyn started her plastic surgery journey when she decided to get work done to look like a cat because her late husband was a big cat lover. She reportedly kept a lynx as a pet and recalled that the big cat's eyes were just so perfect, and so she wanted to look just like it. Unfortunately, she went a little too far with her look and she's been left looking pretty botched, which is unfortunate seeing how she invested so much money into her looks. What makes this even crazier though is the fact that she claims that she's not done getting plastic surgery, so she's willing to spend even more money on her appearance. At number 6, Donatella Versace. I've talked about Donatella Versace and her plastic surgery a fair bit on this channel. We know how she looks following getting plastic surgery, we know what procedures she's had done, and we know that the results haven't been the greatest. Sometimes going plastic just makes things worse rather than better. But one more question regarding her plastic surgery remains, and that is, how much did it all cost? Well, though there's no exact amount, it is believed that Donatella has spent over $25,000 on trying to improve and maintain her appearance. That is a lot of money, but when you think about the results that she's been left with, it makes that high cost so much worse. She's mostly received facelifts over the years, so to think that she's dropped so much money to only go back and get more work done because the effects didn't last is actually kind of sad. At number 5, Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner is one of those celebrities who's considered a trendsetter. Whenever she steps out with a new piece of clothing or a new hairstyle, people just want to be like her and copy her. Because she's a trendsetter, there's pressure to look perfect all the time, and this is where cosmetic surgery came to play in her life. The one procedure that she's known for having is lip fillers. She became the it girl when it came to the big lip trend, and it even got so intense that people were trying to imitate her large lips by creating the dangerous Kylie Jenner lip challenge. On top of her lip filler, there has been speculation and theories thrown around about what other procedures she's had done. Though she's only admitted to getting fillers, it is also believed that she's gotten work done to her body to achieve the curves that she has, like her Kardashian sisters. Now, because she's never admitted to getting anything done other than her lips, it's hard to say for sure exactly how much her appearance costs, but some people out there have crunched the numbers and estimate that Kylie has spent over $2 million on her plastic surgery transformations. Now that is a lot of lip kits. At number 4, Cher. Cher is really out here like she's never heard of the concept of time. This woman does not age at all, and it's honestly a little scary. Okay, I'm getting a little carried away, but you have to admit, she looks immaculate for a woman in her mid-70s, right? Well, other than her being the queen of everything, she's also invested a lot of money into herself and her looks in order to look as great as she does. Over the years, Cher has received a neck lift, multiple facelifts, cheek implants, breast augmentation, liposuction, Botox, other injectables, and lasers, but even after all of that, people still can't get over how good she looks. She's been able to get all of this work done to look younger, and yet she still doesn't look too plasticky. Well, I would expect nothing but perfection if I was Cher and spent over $1 million on plastic surgery. Yeah, it is a lot of money, but clearly it was money well spent. At number 3, Michael Jackson. The late Michael Jackson lived a hugely successful life, and he was known for a lot, from his music to his stage presence to his looks. Over the course of his career, Michael's appearance changed drastically when he got into plastic surgery. After going under the knife a few times, he was left looking nothing like his past self, and this took a lot of money to achieve. So much so that he ended up in debt because of it. It has been reported that Michael has spent over $1.5 million on plastic surgery. Some of the procedures Michael was known to have received include a nose job, skin lightening to match his vitiligo, as well as reshaping his jaw and altering his lips and eyes. In the end, his physical appearance changed drastically, but his talent remained the same, which is really the important thing here. At number 2, Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag became a star when she was cast on the MTV show The Hills, and since she became a public figure, there was soon a lot of pressure to look a certain way in the industry. Looks are always considered as one of the things that keeps your career afloat, and so there's a lot of pressure to look perfect. Because of the insecurity she was experiencing, both from being a public figure and from her doctor, Heidi ended up going under the knife for 10 plastic surgery sessions in just one day. She got so much work done that the trauma was too much for her body to handle, and she actually flatlined for 1 minute while on the operating table. After all that, when she re-emerged with her new look, people criticized her heavily for it, and Heidi even saw parts of herself as botched. Now, I think the worst part about this whole mess is the fact that she spent so much money on this whole transformation. It is believed that Heidi spent around $10 million on her plastic surgery, and it was all for her just to say that she didn't like it and for the public to make nasty comments. If I spent that much money and I didn't come out with amazing results, I would have been so mad. And finally, at number 1, Kris Jenner. Everyone knows Kris Jenner as Hollywood's hardest working momager. She's been able to raise and manage her kids, helping them grow into the big stars that they are today. The Kardashians are all considered trendsetters when it comes to their looks, so obviously Kris had to join in on the fun, right? Like many of her kids, Kris has undergone a handful of cosmetic surgeries over the years, and she's also shelled out quite a bit of money for it as well. It's been reported that Kris has received a breast augmentation, chin lift, neck lift, facelift, lasers, Botox, and other injectables to create the ageless person that we see today. And all of this comes with a hefty price tag of $70,000. That's a lot of money to turn back time, but Kris looks pretty good and she clearly has the money to do it, so who am I to judge?